No, I just wanted to. I've written to you there several times, you haven't responded. I think we're pretty much, I'm distracting you. I didn't see it, of course.
Так,
How are you guys doing on the neural network? They're moving on, they're fine.
Разбегаешься, все нормально.
Есть,
Do you have something to brag about?
Ну, какие-то есть. То есть мы переходим на следующий этап.
And do you post anything on the site? Very little. We are changing some information in the website.
Очень мало. Мы изменяем, кстати, некоторую
You're not opening anything up to the public yet, are you? No. In Publix, I know, the theorists also come right out. On the fact that we're getting older, I think you'll want to give us a Saturday stock sale.
на то, чтобы мы стали выходить на свободную продажу акций.
Ah, no, I don't mean IPO, but in the sense of public I mean, to publish some works, there, what kind of plan? Well, we don't really write anything. Oh, I get it. I'm doing the following. Remember, you and I were saying that, well, in my personal opinion, maybe it's flawed, hypothetical, sort of, that neural networks are misunderstood in general, like, well, scientists misunderstand in general what neural networks are, and even biologists. Here you go. And misinterpreted. And they confused the hell out of everyone because of it. Yeah, well, it's a pretty name. Artificial neural action. Where there's no neural network, there's a filter walking around, as you might say, filtering something in there.
Фильтр, который там что-то фильтрует.
Yeah, here you go. Much less artificial or artificial intelligence.
Искусственный интеллект.
But artificial intelligence, that's not another word at all. I'm not shoving artificial intelligence everywhere into this this wording. But it's just so cutting to the ears. I'm already holding myself back. I realize there's no point in communicating there with people who never understand it at all. Because I've said several times. They then look at me like I say, he's gone. How should I? I say there's no way he's here. How am I supposed to do that? It must be understood. Okay, I can give you 2 examples.
Ученые, их так можно назвать, профессионалов, не называют какие-то вещи, то, что думают в будущем. Могу привести тебе 2 примера.
This
Вот.
one, Ebony.
Черный дыры.
Or the Big Bang.
Большой взрыв. Да, про черные дыры ты наверняка знаешь. Это было красивое название. Кто не знал, будет нет и так далее. И тут что там наконец нашли массивные, звезды, такой массы, что они там не выпускают от тебя много информации. Вот. А интересно было то, что когда Эйнштейн опубликовал свою работу «Теория относительности», ему указали на то, что, Вселенная расширяется.
Actually, it wasn't Einstein who published it, it was Poincaré. And Einstein has a special theory of relativity, and he stole it all from Poincaré. Really, Poincaré was silent about it, because he was a very noble man. And Einstein kind of, well, sent himself. Well, he wanted to, and for God's sake, Poincaré was always so helpful, and so was Lorentz. Lorenz's equation isn't Lorentz either, if he's in. Lorentz only made a noise before he died, admitted that Poincaré, and he never got any further than that, unfortunately. He gave him a good start. He always did. He was this Sorbonne, and Einstein was Germany, so it's France with Germany. They were 2 rival schools. But Poincaré, in general, is a special firm relative to Einstein. Yeah, so?
Когда это опубликовал, формула.
Some young mathematician, very talented, he was drafted by everyone, so to speak.
А какой-то молодой математик, очень талантливый, его все признавали.
He took it all, calculated it, and sent it to Alkartenstein and his enterprise.
Альберт Эйнштейн и своему, учителю. Какой он сделал Альберт Эйнштейн? формулы, математика, вычисления, это великолепно.
And he had it all worked out that everything had to come to a point. Yes, there. And he admitted that everything went from there.
Симплярно, что оттуда пошло все.
There, and Shuren said, and the knowledge of physics is spur of the moment.
Вот. Примерно то же самое ему ответил его учитель, что математика, все, они проверили все тщательно, все работает, все великолепно. Но вот по физике, конечно, цифры не понимаешь, типа такого. Ну вот. А потом, когда начали диспуты по этому поводу, кто-то из скептиков сказал, ну, говорит, это самое, вы там не минуете, что там был какой-то, по-русски
Do you know what it really is?
по-американски звучит большой бах, по-английски.
It's an emblem of chaos. I've just moved on. It's already esoteric, really. And the symbol of chaos is an expanding dot. That is how they draw it. So the balloon is like this. And 8 arrows pointing outward. Well, shooters are like that. It's an emblem of chaos. I've already got into chaos magic, oddly enough. Well, by magic I mean science, naturally. That's just what it's called, it's chaos magic. And I've gotten to the point where I've studied. I just take everything in a Trisovian way, all the absolute ideas in a row, and try to find some grain there. And it turned out to be like magic. It may have been an ancient science, it was just called that, I suppose. And it's the most terrifying force there is in the universe. And I even have a hunch that this influence comes through some kind of sub-thought processes, kind of like the notosphere. And just like a neural net, it is just a receiver-transmitter, that is, a person can also process information independently, but can also connect to some of these, so to speak, to these, well, ceramics, there, or to some other sources. And these are the forces that exist, the forces of chaos. They push their ideas through some of their agents, as through conductors. I have a theory like this right now, or rather, not a theory, but a hypothesis. Here you go. And kind of if you go exactly in the course of neural network, you need to consider exactly neural network as a receiver and transmitter among other things. Because all of this is done completely off the brain. We live in an open system and we need to go for it. And when we can make a neural network connect, I mean a computer network, it will be able to connect, work with this universal mind or some of its vectors, so to speak, then it will be a neural network. That's my opinion. Yeah, it's really, really, really far away. How to say it any other way? Well, look, Mask is just trying. They're trying to go in that direction. They're trying to go in that direction. So they're trying to make a cyborg show, in order for them to apparently have already realized that computer neurokase as it's being proposed, it can't do that. So they need some kind of middleman to plug in here. And they just took the easiest way out, took a man. And they're trying to connect a person to a machine, to a computer, to some kind of algorithm to download this information. And they play around that boson sampler. There are, I would be told, 3 of them in the world. 1 in Canada, I think, 2 in China. They were able to do it. You do realize, don't you, what it is? I'll give you a quick rundown. So they send these microsignals in the form of photons, in the form of some minimal shields. And then they get them on the receivers. And they always come in different. Kind of like these cells right here. And by doing that, they create this kind of randomizer, sort of. I call it a randomizer, they call it a boson sampler. So it is that when and where it will come is unknown. And computers, as you and I know, don't have randomization. There's only random emulation. And they're trying to create that randomness, and that's one of the important key movements for a quantum computer. Just right. I was lectured by a comrade, an academician of the military academy. He is now retired, no problems with information.
на психе. То есть там проблем нет с этим. Вот, там ничего. Вот, с информацией. То есть,
He said that theoretically, if they did that, they'd make a really cool one. This would be a very important node for a quantum computer. For now, we're not even talking about a computer, we're talking about a calculator. And I asked him some questions. I said, do you have this? Do you not have this? Have you worked with this? No, I have not worked. I only theoretically read some articles. He's a very powerful mathematician. When I was talking to him, there was a comrade sitting next to me who was already from there. And he, in short, he was looking at me and me at him with huge eyes, and I was kind of chasing him. He was trying to kind of chase me in some things. I say, I don't know that. And you know this? He says, no, I don't know that. Anyway, he had a very interesting conversation. Too bad I didn't record it. Of course I'd let you listen to it, but like you can't do it all. I can, by the way, if you want, introduce you to that at all, but they deal specifically with cryptography. It's such a fine line. There's state secrets and sort of commercial cryptocurrencies. I certainly don't want to go into state secrets, because at least you can't leave here, you can't go anywhere. But commercial cryptocurrencies, that's still a possibility. It could still be interesting. No, I don't think it's necessary now, because it's not. Well, yeah, that's the situation. Yeah, absolutely. But you understand that there is something that this random, it may not even be random, but it's like this signal reception just from somewhere outside. This could be it. And from that one, you can build some models from that, because there, look, what situation arises. There's a concept there, like, ahead of time. So this whole thing, it's directly related to these temporal mechanisms. And there may be one where you can read through the randomness and there are events ahead. So some big events, they are usually, like, you know, when a big wave comes, yeah, on the shore, like, before that there is a strong recoil, strong shallowing, and then there is some kind of tsunami. And that's the kind of randomness that can predict all of this. If we can make some kind of algorithm that will decipher this whole incomprehensible signal, then we can play with it. Here you go, and they apparently know it. But it's kind of comparable to, you know, like guessing on a deck of cards kind of thing, with that being what random magic is, only so very simple. Here you go, and, in fact, some magic arises again. There are some Egyptian priests there again and so on. That's where it all comes from. It's the tarot system. There are some secret societies that build on this, such as the Freemasons and so on. I mean, it turns out that science is crossing over into mysticism somewhere. Here you go. I like it on the one hand, on the other hand, not so much, because it's completely non-scientific. Although, on the other hand, if you think about it, well, maybe it's scientific, it's just covered by this veil. You see, this is what I've come to. Here you go. But, I mean, our goal, in my opinion, as much as we didn't want to, is to make psychics a science.
Людей, которые были собраны, ну, экстрасенсы. Они были собраны в Москве, как сказать, место встречи, или как сказать, место их собрания было... Ну, тусовка, да. Вообще,
I don't know where it ended up, but the guys I met really didn't have a terrible time themselves.
Я не знаю, чем это закончилось. Но с теми ребятами, которыми познакомился, те, в самом деле, экстрасенсы, но...
And something could understand something.
Там они столько могли что-то... Они маги были, да, собственно говоря, ну... Вот. Слушай, не надо...
Yeah, maybe. Let's continue, because tomorrow I will have a meeting with one of my comrades, who is involved in this crypto security. I will work with them on this issue, so that they could help me with some theory about it, so that it does not violate the scientific paradigm too much, and moreover, of course, I will not tell you that it is some kind of esoteric matters, although it is interesting with light. Remember, I told you the other day, it's really Merkaba, is actually the key to taking science to the next level. And there's something said it's known that what we call magic now, in a certain amount of time it will just be science. It's just that magic is something that people don't understand yet. Well, that's basically it. You and I are communicating right now, being on different continents, so, yeah, just for a minute. Through, like, magic mirrors, if you can call it that, there, let's say, a smartphone. Well, there's that. Well, there, 300 years ago, there, I don't know what it was, but that's what it would have been called, I guess, boldly. Here you go. Now a new science must be created to, well, test the tools.
Должна создаться новая наука, ну, появились инструменты.
With these observatories that are in space and so on, they started doing information there, on galaxies, on something else.
Вдруг выяснилось, что ни хрена не знает, что такое черная материя, как она образуется, какие законы.
I think it's the new sciences and new physics for all the supermassive, I don't know, superlot systems that are going to be formed now. It's just interesting. Yeah, you know. What's also interesting is that on a nano kind of level it's all repeating. These are all, like. You know, this is the statement of this Aeropolit. This what's his name, not Aeropolit. This what's his name, Germetno-Trepmagist, more precisely, that everything that is outside is inside, that is, if this statement, it is key in the sense that you can on microparticles, on a microscope, if you see atoms, there they kind of react, orient themselves to these macrosystems. That is micro, or there it is no longer micro, but what they call what is smaller than nano, angstroms. That is, in angstroms, then it's already kind of the same in galaxies. So we can even study the cosmos, in fact, with a microscope. Here's my guess. Yeah, go ahead, let me know when it's convenient for you to talk more. By the way, we have a drug. If you want, I can send it from COVID if you have something like that. I just don't know how long it's going to be. I've sent to Italy before, it took me about a week to get there. Now something wants something that seems to have started working fine. Because it used to take a month. I don't know what they did there in a month. I don't know. If you'd like, I can send it to you as a gift with no problem. Simple. Write the address and I'll send it to you, maybe even tomorrow. It'll be here in about a week, give or take. I've got all the certificates I have in there, it's been cured somewhere. I'll tell you right now, give or take about 10,000 people during the same Kavita. In total, because we counted, there were some thousands received, well, up to 10,000 exactly. Here you go. And it's broad spectrum, and it takes out a lot of pathogens, including this one too. It's like practically a lot of things. I was developing this in general as solely an anti-aging product. I just have a coworker there, Diego, and I kind of did it with them, and I did it as my anti-aging project. And it was just still there about 10 to 12 years ago. It's all been worked out. Just when, roughly speaking, you introduce something good into the body, so that, well, this is a positive substance, so that it is not eaten by parasites, which in each person about 3 kilograms, it is unclear who lives. To just not feed them. I made a product that removes pathogens from the body. He gives them a command, a whole complex, to get them out of the body. So he doesn't kill them, he gives them a command to get the hell out. This, by the way, is a very effective method, in fact, it turns out, because they are fighting for life and for life once. And here they just, so to speak, go away naturally, either spewed out by such sponges or, so to speak, through them. Here you go. And it's like, and then when the COVID started, there, 10 years later, and I was just taking this stuff all the time, I noticed it was helping. Completely by accident, and there went a little bit of business. Here you go. But I've been warned to stay away from Big Pharma, or they can be quite cruel there. So I basically registered it as a food product and sold a little bit of it amongst myself. Well, in the end there were a lot of them, So in this way I got acquainted with various illusions and so on, including Anatoly in the end, too. He said he'd sell if it would help him. I'll sell if it would help him. It worked for him in the end. I said, go ahead and sell it. Now he says, well, look, there's something standing there. Oh, man, I got some stuff going on right now. Well, anyway, he never ended up selling it, but it really helped him. It helped him. You can even ask him that if you want. So text me the address and I'll send it to you.
Хорошо, спасибо.
Thank you. I'm honest. Congratulations. Yes, Ivan Nikolaevich. Good. Then I'm happy to do the math with you.
Ну,
Well, good luck with everything. Yes. Let's let you free up a little bit there, and there will be time, and we'll call again then. Good. Good.
Хорошо.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's mutual, and I'll meet tomorrow and I'll send you more material there. Then, I'm going to ask them for like some out there to put a scientific basis for these effects, as they believe. Yeah. Alright, then we'll be in touch. Thank you. Thank you.
На связи, всего хорошего.
Yes, thank you. How long will it take for it to reach America? You know, in a week or something. In a week. In a week. Yeah. Okay, thanks. Alright, thank you.